The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash,
A roundtable of Cowboys insiders
dropping wisdom
and offering sizzling takes
on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys.
Now, your host,
Newy Scruggs.
Here we are, Media Mash on a Tuesday, right here at the Star, the SWBC Podcast Studios. He is Clarence Hill. I'm excited for fraternity, brother. I'm still wearing the pass, man. It's okay. You're legitimate now, man. You're good for the day. You're good for the day,
I was
man.
trying to get down the stairs. I'm trying to get down the elevator. You know, you're trying to get down, get through security, man. You know, I'm not trying to get turned away.
I am Newy Scruggs.
Have Barney Fife come at me.
Yes. They do make sure you show up at the Star. You better be legitimate here. So everybody else got back from Charlotte. Yesterday, if not Sunday. You just pull it in here. It's Tuesday,
me and several Cowboy fans got stuck. Several Cowboy fans, a couple of Cowboys executives were on my flight. I stayed because I did my podcast on Monday morning at 11, so I took an afternoon flight. By the time I got on the plane, storms were coming in Dallas, raging in Dallas. I did a ground stop on all the planes coming to Dallas. And the bad thing about it is how they tease you, how they do you. So we sat on the tarmac for an hour, and they said They said no planes are coming. We're gonna sit there for another hour. And we sat there for another hour. And we sat there for another 30 minutes. Then they said we're gonna deplane you, and we're gonna get you on another flight. We're just gonna deplane you right here. And then they gave us a flight time. 5 minutes before we board. Well, that flight time is not real. We're gonna move it back. Then they gave us another flight time.
And what time is the?
And they actually boarded us on the plane. They were like, "Oh, good, we're finally going home at 10 p.m.
Oh,
I'm gonna get back at 12." Well, first of all, they said it was gonna be a midnight flight. Then they said, "No, we're gonna get you on early. We're gonna clear. We got this plane ready, and we're gonna put you on at 10 p.m." And so we reboard the flight again. Everybody's excited. He said, "We're gonna go through all. We're gonna get around here. We're gonna get you home faster." 5 minutes later, this flight has been canceled. And we deplaned again, and now everybody's at the help desk, the whole plane trying to reroute. People miss connections. People, trying to find out how you're gonna get home. And I actually took a 11 o'clock flight to Nashville, and it's like a 90-minute trip from Charlotte or whatever else. And then I got on the flight from Nashville to Dallas this morning.
so you stayed in Nashville.
I spent the night in Nashville at the airport. Yes.
So, does the airline pay for that at all?
No, they said that because it's a weather issue that you don't get reimbursed. You only get reimbursed, number one, if it's their fault. And I think number two, if you don't take the other leg, if you cancel your ticket.
Okay.
So I still flew, so I don't get reimbursed. And they didn't pay for the hotel because it was the weather. It wasn't their fault.
Ouch. Well, I'm glad you're here.
I'm here. I made it.
On fumes.
On fumes, yes, on fumes. But I'm here for you. I'm dedicated here. I'm here for you. I show up.
We appreciate that. As the Cowboys ended up winning in Carolina 30-14, whole lot of guys from the Carolina area, be it they lived or played high school football in North Carolina or they played at South Carolina, a lot of guys with a good day there. You've covered a lot of teams. You've seen the homecomings before, but I thought that was pretty significant because these were not necessarily your blue chip players who but had good days.
Yeah, I mean, number one is Rico Dowdle, in their third straight 100-yard game. He had undrafted free agent from South Carolina. Wasn't, started at South Carolina, but, he wasn't no all-SEC performer, Heisman Trophy candidate. He was undrafted free agent coming to Dallas. But, this was just a continuation of the run he's been on late in the season, and he certainly had a big day. He was the focal point of that offense. And Jalen Brooks, good for Jalen Brooks. I like the fact that Jalen Brooks, it was another example of guys who rebounded from mishaps or bad things. Even, Cooper Rush, he had to fumble in half, great second half. And that's the thing about this team. It has some character. They don't blink in the sign of trouble. And Jalen Brooks, coming out of camp, there was a lot of high hopes for him. He had to slip in that game. Was it the Saints early in the season? They called the Dak interception, and Tom Brady said, "I wouldn't go back to him." And just keep your head down, keep plugging away. And certainly he had a big touchdown and Charlotte is actually his hometown. Big game for him.
So that was good to see there. So,
and Izzy's from up there too, and he had interception.
Yep, South Carolina guys in North Carolina had a nice day. So you buy tickets and your family wants to come down and see the schedule early. So to see that happen, I felt happy for those guys because it does mean something.
And there were a lot of Cowboy fans there. I mean, I think it's always a big because a lot of Cowboy fans in that area from Florida, from both Carolinas, who come out and do a Cowboys takeover, and the stadium was not packed because of. Obviously, the Cowboys' record, and the Panthers' record, and the weather, because usually sold out no matter what the Panthers looked like. It was sold out last year. It was cold. It was okay. It wasn't cold, but it was just football weather, 40s, 40s, and just it was kind of rainy. And so I think that shied people away. But at the end of the game, there were none but Cowboy fans in that place, and we were watching the guys come out the field, and they were going crazy and celebrating their guys.
Yeah, I always tell people it's one of the worst parking stadium situations in the league. It is bad. You have to really want to go. And you better take care of your parking. If you buy a ticket, you better make sure you take care of the parking with the ticket because that is a hard place to get to.
Or you stay downtown and walk. We walk from the hotel. We walk from the Marriott. Just walk down the street.
Never done that, but okay.
You never done that?
Not there. Let's get a parking pass.
Yeah, because y'all have your equipment. But, all the riders, we stay downtown and we walk. Walk there, walk back. It's not a bad walk at all.
Okay, there you go. Coming out of that game, Mike McCarthy ties Jeff Fisher for 13th all-time in wins as a head coach. And as you look at this, one, it's a bad Carolina Panther team, but the Cowboys were not favored in the football game. They dominated the game. How do you start to look at the job he's done? Starting cornerback and former All-Pro Trayvon Diggs not there, gonna miss the rest of the season. You're an underdog. You go on the road. You win the game. How do you start to measure Mike McCarthy? And I know there's 3 games left against 3 playoff teams right now. First place Tampa Bay, first place Philadelphia, wild card Washington. How does Jerry start to look at him in the coaching job?
Well, I mean, he talked about it already today. How the arrow's going up, and he gives Mike McCarthy and Zimmer high grade. What they do, how they manage the team. I've said it all along, and I've said it. This team has never quit on Mike McCarthy. And even during the bad times, even during a 5-game losing streak and all the other stuff, these guys give effort, and you're seeing that the fans want to tank and for high draft pick they won't quit. They do have good football character. They do continue to fight and continue to play, and he's not lost the locker room. People talk about what's asking. That's what's so clear. The media is just we're so wishy-washy because when they missed a 5-game losing streak, are you going to make a coaching change in the middle of the season?
Right.
Well. It's not like he lost the team, and that's when you make a coaching change when you guys are cheating you out and you're seeing guys not give effort, but that was never the case. And now, of course, the story is, are you going to bring him back, so we don't know what he's going to do. And I think Jerry also on the radio had a good point in which we all have to put at the point. Yes, the Cowboys have won 3 or 4 games. Let's compare who they won against.
Sure.
To who they lost against. Okay, the Detroits and the Baltimores and New Orleans, they were hot, and it's not the same. I mean, who they're playing? You're talking about a bad Carolina team, talking about a bad Giants team who they've beaten twice. And I said all along when the Cowboys talk about the road, they can't win at home. They went on the road. Who they play on the road? Outside the Steelers. And that's what the Steelers had their second best quarterback in the game. But I mean, if you would have flopped who they played on the road, who they played home, they'd had a better home record, they had a road record. Right. But it's who they played, when they played. All that factors into this discussion.
This is good. Clarence Hill, All City Dallas with us right now, breaking this down. I'm going to ask you a question I asked on the Players Lounge yesterday. How do you view the coaching job for Mike McCarthy compared to the other 6 and 8 teams in the league? Here are your 6 and 8 teams. San Francisco, Kyle Shanahan up there. Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. Zach down there here at Cincinnati, who they just played 2 weeks ago. Coach Soul down there in Miami. They're 6 and 8. And Raheem Morris, Atlanta they were 6 and 7 yesterday. They ended up beating the Raiders, so now they're 7
They beat the Raiders. And they hadn't won a game since they beat the Cowboys. First of all, It's just like yesterday, Mike McCarthy can coach circles around Canales, okay? Mike McCarthy's a damn good football coach, okay? He was a damn good football coach at 12-5. He's still one of the better football coaches in getting the team prepared in this league at 6-8. And you compare him to all these guys who have no skin on the walls, outside of Shanahan, and Shanahan's excuses like the Cowboys' excuses. They got injuries. Injuries have played a huge role in their record and where their team is. That's a fact, But as I posed someone yesterday, actually from the Cowboys organization, I saw on the plane, and everybody feels good about the Cowboys and how they finish and whatever else. So you bring everybody back, and I do believe the Cowboys will be a playoff team next year. Okay, hell, if they don't muff a punt, they might be a playoff team this year. If, AO don't mess. They should have won should be riding a 4-game winning streak. There's no doubt in my mind. They should be riding a 4-game winning streak right now. They had Cincinnati right there. Had a chance to close that game out and against a Cincinnati team, and that's why Mike Zimmer gets so much credit in how they're playing defense, even with the guys out, because that Cincinnati team continues to put up points against everybody else, except the Cowboys, really. But say you bring everybody back, you get to the playoffs. Is this a team that can take the next step? Because that was always the case. When 25 wasn't about getting to the playoffs, because we already knew that.
Sure.
They're a playoff team. The goal is to get to the Super Bowl. Do you have enough to get to the Super Bowl? Not just get. So it's going to be cool. You had this bad season, bring everybody back, and you get to the playoffs again. Is that going to satisfy the thirst of the fan base, thirst of Jerry Jones, if they don't get back to the Super Bowl? We'll be back in the same rut.
So if Jerry says we have,
and I don't know if there's the answer, somebody else can get you over the top. I'm just based on that, I'm just thinking.
and that's where I'm going with this. Let's say Jerry says at the end of the year, this was an unacceptable season based on and therefore I decided to make a coaching change. The one name we kept hearing was Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Gone. Not head coach of North Carolina. Who's the next person? You say Ben Johnson's the name you hear, but guy wanted $15 million. Jerry's not known to pay coaches. And when Ben Johnson's he's released the things he wants, what he's looking for.
He got a 400-page Bible.
No, he's got I guess he got a little memo of what he wants, and the Cowboys don't fit the checklist, personnel-wise, of what he's looking for. So I come back to this. I don't know if there's any place for Jerry to go where he says, I've got an upgraded coach over Mike McCarthy. I don't see Jerry giving Aaron Glenn or anyone else.
I don't see Vrabel, anybody else upgrade over Mike McCarthy.
You know what? I had a good source tell me yesterday Vrabel's going to the Raiders.
That's fine, but I don't see any of those guys being upgraded over Mike McCarthy. Okay. I mean, I don't. There's not an answer. Okay.
So that means McCarthy's coming back.
Well, he should, but just because it means that, man, you trying to now you're working with logic.
I'm working with logic, but also just we know Jerry has been resisted to change. Look at the 9-year run for Jason Garrett.
Jason Garrett's part of the family. He's part of the Super Bowl family.
Yes,
but yeah, that's the outside of the fact that listen, I like Mike. I mean, I think Mike's done a great job. I think Mike's a good coach. I think he's better than any of those coaches, prospective coaches that are out there. My only hope. They bring him back. So give him some help. Don't just run it back and not improve the roster.
Agreed. And I look at Mike McCarthy, and I'm with you. I think Mike McCarthy's done a really good job here, and you and I understand the dynamics of it's not just coaching here. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on here. Some stuff we won't talk about over the air, but there's a lot of stuff to come when it comes to coaching here. And I think he has weathered that storm of what it is. There's certain jobs that you're coaching, and then there's other stuff that comes with it. Being the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, there's stuff that comes with that. Being the manager of the New York Yankees, there's just extra stuff.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Being the head coach of the Montreal Canadiens.
That's what Mike talked about earlier. When I was in Green Bay, we knew we could put our 7-day schedule. Because they played at a certain time every week. And he can get home.
1 o'clock out there.
Yeah.
Well, 12 Central.
Yeah, they can get home and get his schedule, and they had a routine. There's no routine here. You got to change the schedule every week because you're 3 and you're 7 and you're 1 and you're Thursday night, you're Sunday night. I mean, that's comes with the dinner of being the Cowboys coach.
Yes, and I think that if we're look at the 2 potential worst years for Mike McCarthy, his first year, and they gave him the mulligan, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, and now here, and I think you had wrote it earlier when you were back at the Star-Telegram beginning of the year. This was a roster fail. You called the receiving corps. You said CD and the maybes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things you spoke about what you were seeing at the beginning of the year have come true in a way that has not been pleasant for Cowboy fans or even Jerry Jones about what this was constructed together. And so as you're coming toward the end and you're trying to think about a decision on the head coach, I don't know where Jerry goes and you say, well, this is your upgrade and this is where you go. I don't know.
Right, and even if you bring a new coach in, are you going to give him some more players? You're going to upgrade the roster to help him get to the next level? Because just scheme ain't going to do it. A fresh voice ain't going to do it because it's not like they're not listening to this voice. And again, it'd be different if they weren't listening to this voice. If they needed, it's not about needing a fresh voice.
All right. I'll stay with you there. And then let's just add this. You bring Mike McCarthy back because well, first off, his contract's up. Does he want to come back?
Oh, I think he does. I mean, his family loves it. His daughter loves it. He's talked about that many times. And we talk a lot of times, just off to the side, off the cuff. He talks to reporters, and his daughter loves it here.
Okay.
And so I think he would like to stay here.
And then what's the years if you bring him back?
I don't know. That's 2, 3. I mean, ain't nobody's taking a 1-year deal, I don't think. But, yeah, I mean, it has to be a multi-year deal. And then Jerry says today on the radio that he and Zimmer tied at the hip. And Zimmer, the defense has played well and certainly improved over the course of the season. They've had a lot of guys in and out, a lot of their guys out.
Yeah.
And so, he's done well to earn. They're only getting better, and they will continue to get better if he stays as the coordinator.
Micah Parsons, a topic for Jerry Jones today, and
Stephen Jones on Sunday.
Stephen Jones on Sunday. So I want you to dive into that, Micah Parsons, and also Jerry's delicacy for certain foods. We'll dive into that next. He is Clarence Hill, All City Dallas. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings, sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
This is Nate Newton from Hanging with the Boys, and Wingstop is here to bring the flavor to game day as the official wings of the Dallas Cowboys. Order now by downloading the Wingstop app or ordering online at wingstop.com.
Hey, Cowboys fans, a 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. They sure make game day special, and for every purchase of the new Tyson Cowboys Nuggets this holiday season, Tyson Foods will donate $1 to the Salvation Army up to $100,000. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash, right here on DallasCowboys.com. Makes that by Tuesdays. We got Clarence Hill and me, Newy Scruggs, coming at you. All right, Jerry Jones talks every Tuesday on 105.3 The Fan. One of the stories that you have been on for a long time, and you're close with the player, is linebacker Micah Parsons. Sunday, NFL Network came out with a report about the possibility of a Micah Parsons trade. Stephen Jones addressed it. Jerry addressed it today. Take people through what they should be listening to and maybe what they should not.
First of all, the NFL Network report was confusing because it opened with, well, you do things differently, or you're supposed to do things differently, paying money to big money players like Dak and CD, and then, the results, and is that something you would consider doing differently? And it was confusing because if you read the story, Stephen specifically says, we got, some adjustments. Yes, we don't like the way our seasons come. Yes, we have to revisit everything when you're bad, but I don't see a future without without Micah Parsons. But when he did it on TV, he said the Cowboys could be open to trading Micah Parsons. And that's what everybody ran with. And I was telling Calvin Watkins in Morning News, I said, the media creates things, and I'm part of the media, and we have to have storylines. For the last year, Stephen and Jerry never said anything other than we're going to sign Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's our future. But yet, there were people talking about they could move away from Dak Prescott. They might not sign him. They could do this. They could bring in Trey Lance in. They never publicly said one word other than Dak Prescott's going to be our quarterback for the future. Never one word publicly. I've never heard them publicly say anything other than we want Micah Parsons on our team for the future. They've never said that. But yet, when you don't sign a guy, when he's not signed, when up negotiations, and as negotiations get protracted, people come up with reasons why. And they're thinking about this, and they're thinking about that, and they couldn't do this. They never considered moving away from Dak Prescott. They never considered not signing CeeDee Lamb, and they're never not going to sign Micah Parsons. And there are people in the organization, yes, and there are people in the media who are fanning the flames of.
There's some people in the organization who have different thoughts, but they're not the owner's thoughts.
You don't build good teams. You don't win by getting rid of generational players. You don't. There's no path forward to being a successful franchise by getting rid of generational players. You think I'm gonna get all these draft picks and this for what? There's no guarantee you're gonna get one Micah Parsons.
I go back into when you go draft. Ultimately, when you're in the draft, what does everybody say you need to win in this league? Franchise quarterback.
Yes.
And then when you're doing your roster building, franchise quarterback. And then who are the other? When you round out your top three priorities, it's a quarterback, it's a pass rusher, it's an elite left tackle.
And a cornerback, yes. And those are the premier, but those are the positions that get paid.
And so you're the Cowboys, you have two of them. And I look at Khalil Mack.
Well, he's a prime example.
And as exhibit A of, okay, John Gruden didn't want to pay him, thought, well, let's move off him, let's get picks, do our rebuild. And Khalil Mack was a former defensive player of the year. We don't remember anybody they had. Maybe it was Cleveland.
They all got cut. They're not even there anymore.
Right. So they got nothing out of that, and you lost a good football player. They couldn't replace him. So show me the many times where you've replaced these types of players.
People are so mesmerized by the Herschel Walker trade.
We talked about that on Players Lounge.
There's no more Herschel Walker trades, okay?
Barry Church asked that. I'm like, you're young. I said, what year was that? 80, 89, 90?
Yes.
I said, have you noticed? There's never been that again. And I said, Barry, you got to understand, too, what the trade was. It was a couple players, like Ike Reese, couple linebackers. It was like, but it was all these picks, and they were conditional.
Yes.
And what people didn't realize is when Jimmy played Mike Lynn was, we gonna cut that guy. That pick was a 4, now it becomes a 2. Like,
right.
Next thing you know, you've got all these draft picks.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing that ever again. No one's ever going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe of the Herschel Walker trade. So that's out. That's gone.
Yeah, and you get a team like Minnesota at the time who were contending, who thought this was going to take them to
one player away.
They thought they were one player away. We're going to be a Super Bowl team. This team is struggling. We're trying to win now, and I get that. You know, we talk about that all the time, trying to win now, but you don't mortgage all of that. It's never happened again. That's the Trojan horse of the trade.
It's there's certain things that happen that people all say, no, we won't do that again. SMU getting a death penalty. Nope, we're not going to do that again. Herschel Walker, not going to do it. There's certain things that happen like, we will not go down that path again because everyone looks at, look at what happened, the unintended consequences, and this shall never happen.
And that was before free agency. It was just a different time.
You are right. Before free agency. That's another one that matters too very much, yes.
And nobody's that dumb and all that before salary. I mean, there was a whole lot of different things. It's just not happening that you can do something like that. But, so there's this talk. But it just frustrates me when people talk about getting rid of Micah Parsons and they don't look at the impact and they take the impact for granted. They take somebody argue, what has he done in the playoffs? What has anybody else done in the playoffs? He can't do it by himself, and they talk about his leadership, and I'll say, was Charles Haley a great leader? But look who he had around him. He had Dion, he had Michael, he had Shore. I mean, they all had people. I want more Micah Parsons. I want more difference-making players. I want more generational talents. I want more prospective Hall of Famers. That's how you win a Super Bowl, not getting rid of Micah Parsons. Getting rid of Micah Parsons. Now, go get some people to go with to run with Micah Parsons that's going to go after the ball and get to the quarterback and make impact plays and open things up for other guys who are going to help you get to the next level.
Stay right there when you talk about what he opened up for other people. And Demarion Overshown.
Yes.
When Parsons got back in the lineup, we saw him really making a lot of plays, and you just said, hey, there's a real bright light on your defense. And unfortunately, he's out for this year, most likely misses all of next year. But to me, that was one where you came and you said, hey, that's what a Micah Parsons can do for someone else. It's what did Lawrence Taylor do for other people? Lawrence Taylor was so good. Next thing you know, Carl Banks is sitting here getting to the quarterback. And Carl Banks was a fantastic football player. But I think of Demarion Overshown like a Carl Banks. Hey, you got LT over here. Now you're able to get out here, do a lot of stuff on one-on-one coverage, and you're out here able to make some plays and be an impactful football player.
And it's just, and we point to Overshown, but look at Osa and look at all the other guys that are making plays. The Cowboys, since Micah Parsons returned, since he returned from the injury, the Cowboys are leading the league in sacks and quarterback hits. And just look at this defense. Look at 6 sacks the other night. And you just look at all the guys and look at the sacks he's had and the run he's made toward getting double-digit sacks, on the season, which he had 1. He's had 7.5 since he returned.
I look at Bill Parcells. I should say Bill Belichick, I should say, who coached for Bill Parcells and coached Lawrence Taylor, and just his Bill's a part of 8 Super Bowl winning teams. And watching the Manning cast this year, when he spoke of Micah Parsons, he spoke of him in a glowing fashion. In a way, he spoke about Ed Reed. In a way, he spoke about Darrelle Revis. And I think you and I are on the same page when you talk about guys like Revis and Ed Reed. These were difference makers. And he would talk about, hey, you needed to know where Ed Reed was on the football field when they played. Micah's that kind of player for him. And if a guy like that has that kind of praise for the football player, that's not a guy I'm trying to trade, in my opinion.
No.
That's not a guy.
No, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, and I don't care what people think. And I would say, you think, let's be honest, and we've been here a long time, do you think everybody in the organization was happy with how Michael Irvin did his business in the 90s?
No.
So just because some people are unhappy with Micah Parsons' offseason, which meant never crossed legal issues, never, no real drama other than him not.
Were involved.
Nothing.
Like that. Yeah.
There are people who didn't like how Michael Irvin handled his business in the 90s, okay? But they won titles. And so that's what it is. And Mike Micah Parsons talked about his dedication. He talked about his will to win. He talked about he's not going to quit. I talked to him after I walked with him to the bus, and he talked about he wants to be elite. He wants number 11 to be retired. He's had individual success. He says, I'm in my prime. I got individual success has led to nothing. I want to win Super Bowls here, too.
The word Jimmy Johnson used to use, and it fits Micah Parsons, and he didn't use it very often. The word is difference maker. You don't trade difference makers.
No. Again, that's what's crazy. The media people, the fans, that we need to trade him because they mad about a podcast. And I talked to somebody. He's always. It's on a Tuesday. It's on his day off, or it's a Monday evening when they're not. It's not like he's missing practice to do a podcast.
I've been and you've worked here a long time. I've worked in different cities, and I can recall when teams have traded what I like to call difference makers. I remember the Dodgers traded Mike Piazza. Traded him to Florida. Florida only got him so they could move him on, and he went to the Mets. Mets ended up going to the World Series. Mike Piazza ended up going to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Dodgers never won anything after they traded Piazza with that. I mean, that group who did it and everything, they got nothing. I was working in Los Angeles when Shaq came to from the Magic because they didn't want to pay him his money. They wandered the desert.
Right.
They wandered the desert trying to figure out how did they do it. And yes, they ended up getting Dwight Howard and went to the finals, but Dwight Howard was never Shaquille. Never had the cachet. When you have difference makers, you keep them. You just do. Micah is the best player they have on the team. Period. With all due respect to C.D. Lamb.
Since he's been on the team.
He's their best player. Jerry Jones, when's the last time Jerry Jones traded his best player? He hasn't. He doesn't do it.
No, and when the last time he let go of a guy he wanted to keep? He let a guy he wanted to keep get away. They don't do that, and they're not going to do that. They weren't going to do that with Mac, with CD. They weren't going to do that with Dak, and they're not going to do that with Mike, and they shouldn't.
All right, let's go to break here. When we come back, Jerry Jones talks vittles, neats. It's pretty funny. You don't want to miss it. Next, right here on the Media Mash.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Fall is here, and that means football is back, bringing all the delicious game day foods with it. As you prep for all the big games, tailgates, and watch parties, let Yo Quiero be your one-stop destination for all things home gating. Yo Quiero's fresh, flavorful, ready-to-serve guacamole, made with real Hass avocados, will score taste bud touchdowns as you cheer on the Cowboys. Yo Quiero's wide range of mouthwatering and versatile products can be found in your local grocery store's produce or deli section. Grab some today.
Hey, Cowboys fans, the 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Cowboys football games or to any other live event, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. They sure make game day special, and for every purchase of the new Tyson Cowboys Nuggets this holiday season, Tyson Foods will donate $1 to the Salvation Army up to $100,000. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
Back to Media Mash.
Media Mash, right here from Frisco, the international home of the Dallas Cowboys, the Star SWC Podcast Studios. He is Clarence Hill. I'm Newy Scruggs. Make Sci-Fi Tuesday coming at you here. All right, Jared Jones on 105.3 The Fan. it was a good lead-in by Sean Sharif, the host, when he talked about Leggett of Carolina, who talked about how he liked to eat raccoon. And I'll let Sean pick it up from here.
Last one, I want to finish up with a final taste of that Carolina victory. Xavier Leggett, their receiver, says that he eats raccoon, and that set the food world ablaze. We talk about hunting and game with you. Have you ever had raccoon or anything similar, which would shock a lot of other non-hunters or game eaters?
I've eaten a lot of raccoon. Yes. The answer is yes. And I've eaten it hunting. I've actually had it served by my mom at the table away from hunting. And I have eaten raccoon. And yes, it's not uncommon at all. I'll tell you something that is one of my favorites is squirrel. And it's wonderful, and my mother could do a great job of it. And we all had our favorite pieces, and my dad and sister, I have one sibling, a sister, and they would fight over, not fight, but my mom and I, they were just, my sister and I as far as siblings, my mom and I wouldn't even ask for the brain in a squirrel.
Oh, man.
Oh. And delicious, seriously.
Why are you frowning up? You're from Carolina.
I said delicious. Actually, you know what?
Why are you frowning up? You're from Alabama and Carolina.
I laughed about it because I was telling, because Church from Pittsburgh was like, no, and then Oak Cliff's Heckman Harris. Like, I said, look, my folks from Alabama, they grew up poor. So you
it's not a poor thing; it's a hunting thing.
Well, I'm just talking about when he just talked about, hey, when we grew up poor, like. You went and you got your stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about him eating in these. He never say he ate no squirrels or raccoons, but my dad. But pig feet, pig ears, chitlins, all that. That was.
I was just thinking about this. Yeah, so because I grew up in a small town, and I think growing up I had squirrel and raccoon because I had a cousin that hunted and did that sort of stuff.
Squirrel soup.
Squirrel stew. But tell me something. I was just thinking about this.
Which is better?
What's you eat deer? You rabbit? People eat rabbit?
I don't, but okay.
They do though, right?
Right, yes.
Frog legs? You ever had frog legs?
I had it once in New Orleans.
Okay, frog legs. Duck. It's okay, right? Duck, people like duck.
Okay.
Lamb.
Yes.
I
do love I love me some lamb.
I mean,
I love heroes. I love the hero over there, my boy Prince Lebanese. So yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, what animal do we stop at? Is there an animal that say there's some people that eat gator, they eat rattle,
I've had alligator before.
So where do we stop?
Okay, so
I grew up. I haven't eaten in a long time, but when I was young and. In the small town, in the country roads of Schulenburg, we had some coon and we had some squirrel and certainly we had frog legs.
Put a little meat church seasoning on there.
Meat church seasoning on there. And of course, you talked about all the pig stuff.
Did you grill it?
You talked about the chitlins and the pig feet and all of that stuff. That was.
What you do with your raccoon?
I love. I don't remember.
Did you boil it? Fried it? Sauteed it? Baked it?
Put it on that stick and stir. But. Jerry's from Arkansas, man.
Rotisserie Alvin.
Jerry from Arkansas. Jerry's a rich man, but he grew up on the land. He grew up, and it's not a surprise that they grew up because that was part of the culture. And just like everybody makes fun of Leggett, and that's part of his culture. And I like it. He knows people are laughing, but he don't care. That's who he is. He embraces who he is. I love the accent. But yeah, Jerry's had a little coon in his life. Get you some coon.
The beauty of it is you're from Texas, small town. You've had it. Heckman was like, no. He's like the most.
From the city,
He's like Williams Chicken's the most I've done.
Williams Chicken.
That's what.
What about gizzards? People eat gizzards.
Gizzards, liver, no thank you. Want none of that. But and Church from Pittsburgh was out. So this is part of the conversation. But I said I understood. I literally remember the first time I saw Pigfoot. I'm like, what?
Who?
Pigfoot.
They served pig feet.
Pig feet.
It's called pig feet.
But it was a foot. I was like,
I know. We just called pig feet. Eating pig feet.
It's pig feet. But I was like, this is a foot. What is this? When I saw it,
it's good, man. You must put some vinegar on that thing.
Okay, you know what everyone would do with the hot sauce and mustard. No. Pig ears, put it in
I was never about the ears and the tongue.
Dude,
People eat cow tongue.
Forced to sit up here, eat that damn pig ear, put some mustard.
Oh, you ate pig ear? Well, you eat pig ears, you eat coon. It's no different.
And then but then I did tell the guys on the Players Lounge how I was in New Orleans. See, New Orleans got all that stuff. So I was at New Orleans, this place called Butcher, and they had a bacon jaw sandwich. I'm like, well, what's jaw? What's that? Pig
the
jaw.
jaws, yeah,
pig jaw. And I looked at it, and the guy said, "Do you like bacon?" Yeah. He said, "Tastes like bacon." He said, "Try it. If you don't like it, I'll get you another sandwich." I got it. I tried it. I said, "Hey man, I need to get one to go."
You got you some jaws to go. Huh?
You know what? It was great. Tastes like bacon. It was great. So there you go. But I have not had any raccoon. Haven't had squirrel. I've lived this long without it. I think I'm just going to go ahead.
What about rabbit?
No, haven't had it.
You don't eat Easter bunny, huh?
No.
What about Bambi? You ate the squirrel? You eat squirrel meat? You eat some venison? You eat squirrel? Never had squirrel meat?
No.
I'm at squirrel. Deer meat. Excuse me, deer.
Somebody brought in some
Bambi. You ate
deer jerky one day. Remember old Ron Tina? Who worked at Channel 5, Ron Tina? Yeah, she brought some of that. And we tried to make a...
No, deer sausage is good, man. You got to get some deer.
So she got, hey, here's a bag. I took it, and then I went home and gave it to my dog.
No, you got to get some deer. Get some good deer meat.
What? No, thank
you. People go
good.
Deer hunting for a reason. That's good.
You know who?
Deer sausage. Deer sausage.
Your boy, Banderich, Slayton Banderich, said how elk burgers were great. He swore by elk burgers. I guess lean is good. Now, I've had buffalo meat. I'll eat some buffalo all day long. I won't lie. Buffalo meat, I've had some buffalo meat, so okay.
I'm not going hunting with the Banderiches.
This is a good place to end the show. He is Clarence Hill. Follow him at All City Dallas. He has jokes. I'm merely Newy Scruggs. Thanks to Jazz, Media Mash. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 p.m. on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!